So guys, what do you guys want to talk about on today's live? What do we talk about? Is there any I view myself in front of others in same shoes. What do you mean? I know it's hard to write. Sometimes I'm reading the comments and I'm not quite understanding it. How much healing hurts? Oh, healing. Do you believe that healing hurts? I have a question. Who thinks healing hurts? Who feels like the healing journey hurts? Hi, Wilo. It's okay. I was going to talk about money. Was I? That we have to fit in a box. I know, that's what society is. We have to fit in a box. Hold on. I'm reading here. Facing our wounds hurts. It hurts because, hold on, I keep going. We're used to worry. Healing can hurt when you're remembering emotional pain. Okay, I get what you guys are saying. Okay. So there are different aspects that healing hurts is because you're diving into old stuff. If you've suppressed stuff your whole life and then you're now going into the healing, that can hurt. Because now you have to bring everything to the surface. Okay? So that can happen. Healing can hurt because sometimes you lose people when you're healing. But can I promise you guys something? So I went on the healing journey. How long has it been? 2022. It's been over 10 years. And there's the way healing happens is that you kind of like jump on this healing, like you're climbing up a mountain. Okay. And then at one point, you get on the top of the mountain and you're like, oh shit, there's another mountain. And you have to climb up that one. Because every time there's something that arises in you, you keep having to climb and you feel like you're getting tired. But the trick of not thinking that healing is painful is, I'll give you guys an example of something that happened to me. I was walking and, because for me now, I don't consider healing painful. To me, healing is, I love it. The pain that I feel is like for a couple hours. I don't have this massive like over exhaustion of like, oh shit, there's more shit that I have to deal with. There's more to that. Now I get an excitement and you're going to get there. If you think that healing is painful, trust me when I tell you there's a moment in time that it will be painful. But you'll get to this moment that you're going to get excited. There won't be any like, fuck. This again? I have to deal with this shit? You won't have to. It's almost that you're like now going down the mountain. It's much easier. You're like smooth sailing. Like right now, healing is like you're going against the water, against the current. And then at one point, there's going to be a moment that you're going to turn around and you're going to start going with the current and you're just going to and you're going to hit a rock from time to time and you're going to hit some things, but you're going to notice that it's much easier. And when you do hit the rock, you're like, fuck, there's a rock. Shit. All right, it's okay. Let's go. And you're going to just kind of like, so there is a stage. That's why, and it's different for everybody, guys. So I just want you to know that healing is a lifelong journey, but there's a difference between the painful healing that when you first get into, and then the whole vibe of like, okay, now this is just flowing. This is flowing. There's a moment in time that you're going to hit. Now I'm going to tell you, maybe one of you guys can get after this live, you're going to get there. Okay. Hi, Cece. So I'm going to give you guys, I think it can be sadness of leaving. Yeah. So it can be painful because you're reliving all these past experiences that you thought you dealt with or whatever. And all of a sudden, all this shit's coming back. to the surface. It could be that there's some people that you need to let go, and it's super painful for you because you're like, no, I don't want to let them go. And you were in a marriage or in a family for so many years and all this stuff. I just went live. I just started going live. You haven't missed much. We just had Miko. So it hasn't been that long. So here's the thing that I could tell you that I hope is going to help somebody shift from painful healing to going with the flow healing. And I've told this story to a lot of people, and I've made a video on this. And there was 2 people who stole my video idea and made it their own, and I blocked them. And one of them was a psychologist. She has a page. I blocked her. I forgot her name. She totally stole my video. She stole my whole thing. And I was like, dude. I guess I could feel flattered because it was a great idea. But anyway, she has like pretty big following and shook my video. She did the same thing. She said the same thing, but she took her words. Anyways, so this is what, so I was walking. So for those of you guys, my mom lives up north. Okay, I'm going to show you guys the backyard of my mom's house and this like epiphany that I had. And when I had this epiphany, and she moved there many years ago, it changed my thoughts from healing very like hard. Healing is hard. Healing is emotional. It's just tough. It's painful. To holy shit, healing is actually fun. Like, this is fun. I did a huge mind shift. Okay. People copy each other on TikTok, share audios. Yeah. Well, this one was really like stealing. Do you guys know that mom girl there? I forgot her name. The Honest Mom. Like, there was somebody stealing her content. Yeah, I had to block this girl because she was stealing my content. Thank you, Jess. It's a dress. So she was there's a difference between sharing content and sharing audio and totally stealing and not crediting and everything. Because the whole point, I take people's videos and audios and I credit them, I tag them. It's sharing. Remember, I made a video about that. There's a difference between sharing and stealing. Okay? So she took word for word what I said and made it completely her own. But I'm going to be honest. For like 5 minutes, I was annoyed. 5 minutes, I was like, oh my God, this is my, and then I was like, eh. Yeah, so I'm like, whatever. Listen, you want to take it. It's I'm very confident in who I am as a person. So if I have these ideas for videos and I make them and then somebody takes the exact same thing, what can I do? I'm not going to freak out on like, oh my God. And she has a lot more followers and she's like, and I went, you know what? At first I was it was a good, like solid 5 to maybe 15 minutes of like, oh shit. I took the video, I saved it to my phone. And I send it. I said, hold on. I send it to my boyfriend. I'm like, do you think? And she goes, holy shit, this is your video. Word for word. She changed like one word in the whole thing. And I went, what can I do? So in the end, I could freak out or I can make new content. You know what I mean? Anyway, here it is. So if you think that healing is painful versus healing being fun. So my mom lives up north in the mountains, like in the middle of nowhere. Her neighbors are really far away from each other. Like, you can't hear anybody, okay? So she lives in this house, and she lives in a house that they renovated the whole place, but it's on a main road, and this road is like, man, I think my mom said over like 200 years old or something. It's something crazy. Like, this road is a road that they used to take, like, it's a very old, there's this abandoned house in the back. Like, it's like, so she lives in there. There's a main road, and we don't take it as a road anymore. It's almost like, so here in Canada, we have ski-doos. Like, we take the Ski-Doo road, you can go down. It's one of the main roads from 200 years ago that's kind of like old, and it's been used for years. So we always walk down that road to walk our dogs. It's right in our backyard. We walk down this little pathway that used to be a road. And at the end of the road, there's this abandoned house that is very dangerous because this house is probably about 100-year-old house. But it's like fall into the ground. It's completely like, and it's pretty dangerous. It's pretty dangerous, let's say, okay? And it's not really, it's cool to look at because you're like, you know, so my mom, what she did is, my mom and my stepdad, they made a new path in, like, so that's the main road. They made a new path that goes down a mountain. It's a little like scary to go down because you slide down, but you know, at the end of that path is a beautiful field. And I've taken pictures, actually. I'm going to make a video on this because I've taken videos. You go down the path and that's where the sun sets, guys. Sun rises. That's where the sun rises. You walk down and then there's this beautiful kind of like water stream and the sun rises there. It is stunning. But this is a new path. Okay? So I'm going somewhere with this story, okay? So every day we walk down the main path because no matter what, there's never any grass that grows on this path. There's no, like, it's a big path. It's been there for 200 years. So it's easy to go down that same path, right? So every day we go down, we take the dogs down and we don't have to put leashes on. They just run down this path. Beautiful, beautiful. And now that my mom started making this new path, I was alone one day and I'm walking down the same path and I go, I'm going to go down this path. Now, the new path is full of weeds and my mom and my stepdad every day have to like mow the lawn down this path. In the winter, we get a lot of snow here in Canada and like a lot of snow, as tall as like 6 feet of snow sometimes. And we have to like, you know, clean out the snow and everything because it's a new path. So I don't know if you guys know where I'm going with this. In our brain, and I was walking down and I had this realization that in our brain, we take the same path, the same thing every day because it's easy. The same thoughts that we had yesterday, the same emotions we had yesterday. It's always the same thing over and over because it's easy. But the destination at that path is an abandoned house that's pretty dangerous. And it's kind of crusty and it's a little scary. It's like there's woods. It's like there's bears around there. It's not the safest place. Okay, it's kind of dangerous. But it's the easy path. The new path, the destination is sunrise, water, beautiful field. There's like lavender in the field. It's amazing. So every day you go down the same path, same thoughts as yesterday, same emotions. If you choose to take a new path and say, I don't want to go down this path anymore, right? That's the healing journey. The healing journey, comfort is the enemy of excellence. Big time. You have to get uncomfortable. But there's some tricks that I'm going to give you guys on your new healing path. So as soon as you get on this new healing path, that you see a beautiful destination, you can see the sunrise, you can see, like in your mind, you know a potential for your future. You know that if you do the healing and you do all that, you can get to the sunrise and the water and the lavender fields. You can get there. But every day you have to mow the lawn and the weeds come out and it's scary. It's scary because you're walking down this new path and you're like, man, this is not easy. And then, okay, so let's say you're on the healing journey because you decided that you don't want this path with toxic people, crappy feelings, depression, anxiety. You don't want, even though it's an easy path because you're used to it, it's effortless, you wake up and that's how you feel, you have to actually make an effort and like meditate and do affirmations and then therapy and coaching, but you have to do all that and you're like, I have to do the work. That's like, but you know that if you do the work, it's worth it. Exactly, Cece. It's worth it in the long run. But here's the key, okay? Here's the key, guys. This is what changed my perception. When I take the new path, and it's a hard day, because sometimes we have a hard day. Sometimes when you're on the healing journey, shit happens, like emotionally. So let's say, I'll give you an example of this. So let's say I'm taking this new path and I'm walking the dogs and I'm taking this new path. And all of a sudden there's a snowstorm that happens. And all of a sudden, the whole path that I just made, we just worked really hard. My mom, like, you know what I mean? And by the way, the soul family, it's like you guys are working together. When you find this soul family together, we're working together on this path. You're not alone. That is creating a path. Me being here, Cece, Wilo, all of you guys on my life. We are all working together, and you guys are helping, all of us together, helping each other build this path. And that's why it's important to have that soul family and connect with people, because otherwise you're alone, just, shoveling out and mowing the lawn and doing all that on your new path. Now, here's the key. When there's a snowstorm and you sit down and you go, fuck, I just created this whole path and now there's a snowstorm. I can't get to my destination. Think about it this way. If you're having a bad day or a bad week, okay? Bad day, bad week, and you're on this healing path and you just behave the same way that you did, I don't know, like 3 years ago. You maybe internalized it or yelled or screamed or this or that, and you got all upset, and then you're like, oh no, it's this, shit. You can do two things, okay? And this is what I do, and this is what makes me love the healing journey, okay? You can either shame yourself and go, fuck, my ego got in the way, damn it, fuck, shit, and then you get really angry at yourself, okay? And you stomp and you're a little upset and you basically shame your ego side for lashing out, and you get all upset, or you sit down. You sit on the path. You sit down and you wait for the storm to pass. Or you can start cleaning and shoveling the snow in the middle of the storm. Some people like to do that. And those are the people, and I realized I used to do that. When I was on my new healing journey, when I had a bad day, I was like, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna raise my frequency and I'm gonna raise my vibration. And so what I'm doing is I'm cleaning out the snowstorm in the middle of a snowstorm. I don't know if you guys know about snow, but when you live in Canada, if you clean out the snow, there's more snow. It just keeps going. It keeps coming in and you're like, and you feel like nothing is being cleaned, okay? You can still do that. You can clean out the snow. Now that I think about it, you can still clean out the snow, right? You can. It might be less hard after, whatever you want to do. So, but here's what I do. This is what made me love the healing journey. On this new path, I like to sit down in a snowstorm. I don't shame myself. So for example, I'll give you the emotional example. Let's say not long ago, I had an anxiety attack, which I can count. I think in my life, I've had maybe 3 anxiety attacks, and that was the 3rd. Just saying, I'm somebody that my emotional response of the past was more depression. I get very sad. This time I had a full-blown panic attack and I wanted to share it. I went online and I wanted to share it with you guys so you guys could see that everybody feels emotions. I didn't want people to think that I'm like, I'm happy all the time. Everything is great. That's bullshit. Nobody is. No human being is constantly living in the happiness and everything. That's not what the 3D earth is about. 3D earth is about duality, and sometimes we feel pain and sometimes we get sad and sometimes, right? So I wanted you guys to know how I cope and how I go through it. Because when I was stressed before or I was depressed, I used to live in that for like a week, a month, sometimes years. Now it's like 15 minutes, maybe an hour. Sometimes it's a couple of days. When it's a really, like, I have to tell you, 3 weeks ago, when my stepdad got a stroke, my aunt went in the hospital. She almost died, and she's not gonna make it for very long. We don't know how long she has. I had a disagreement with my family that we couldn't talk anymore. My dad was literally calling me Nate. Like, everything was kind of like, there was a few other things that happened that I don't talk about too much, private reasons. And then that was hard. I can't control people. And I was like, so you know what I did? We want to fight through on this path. I sit down. So picture yourself on this new path and you got a snowstorm coming in, and you sit down in the snowstorm and you watch it. You become the observer of your reality. So you watch the snowstorm, and it's cold and it's unsafe because there's a storm around you, and it's scary and it's upsetting and it's painful, because when you're in cold, it's painful. So what do? What would you do in a snowstorm? Let's say you're in the middle of a track and you're creating a new path. What would you do? Would you keep cleaning the path and drain yourself? Or in the middle of the snowstorm, would you seek shelter? Build yourself a little shelter. Get warm. You would care for yourself in those moments. You would take care of you in the middle of that. Forget the path, forget the healing journey, forget this stuff. And that's why I forgot his name. There's a guy on TikTok that I follow. I love him. He's like father or dad, your spiritual dad or something. I forgot his name. I love his content because he made a video about that you wait for the storm to pass. Exactly, Blue Frito. You sit there and you love yourself in that moment. You care for yourself. The same thing applies in this life. If you're on the healing journey and you're doing yoga and you're meditating and you're this and you're that and you know you got a good vibe, everything's going, and you're like, and you're manifesting and you're creating this future and you're like, oh my God, it's super exciting. And then all of a sudden shit goes down, or you get triggered, somebody's triggering you, or that's a storm in your life. So when a storm hits, stop trying to keep going. Take a break. Take a break. Sitting down, just like you would sit in this path, you sit down and you observe. Listen to the birds in the middle of the storm. Listen to the sound of the storm. You can look at the storm, take care of yourself, dress warmer, do that. The same thing applies in your life. If you're in the middle of a storm of your life or of yourself, and it's a hard time, healing is hard, you say it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard when you love yourself in the hard moments. Okay? You befriend your ego. Don't try to think that your ego is against you, is fighting for you. No, you befriend your ego. Because after that storm, it's beautiful. It's beautiful and it's crisp. Have you ever, I don't know if you guys are familiar, when you have a snowstorm, and at the end, when it finally calms down, it's crisp and clear and you can see. So wait for the storm to calm down. Just because you can't see the future in the middle of the storm, look, you can see it crisp, fine. But in that moment, stop trying to persevere and be the better person and raise your frequency or be positive or cry. Be scared in the moment. Be scared. It's okay to be scared in the middle of a freaking blizzard. So why is it not okay to be scared when you don't know where your life is going, or when you just lashed out on someone, or some toxic person came back in your life, or some shit went down? It's okay to be angry and be sad. It's okay. What's not okay is to get mad at yourself for being angry. It's like, shit goes down. Let's say your life is flowing, everything is good and everything, and a storm happens that's out of your control, or maybe it's in your control, whatever, something happened. What, are you going to shame yourself? So that's negative. Okay, let's consider a storm a negative thing. I don't see it as a negative thing right now because I think that everything is just an experience. Even our emotions are just an experience. But let's say the storm is a negative thing. You think that you getting upset at yourself for not being positive and no, how can I be sad? But not just be sad. Remember to love yourself when you're sad. A cool visual, the crisp winter analogy. I know it's hard to see now in the summer, but it's the same thing. So I'll give you an example. We had a storm yesterday here, okay? We had a heat wave going on. It's not so hot anymore. And we had a storm last night. Do you know that I couldn't see anything? There was so much rain, and the wind almost blew the tarp thing off, was blowing everything, our cushions. I was like, everything. It was just like a big storm. I couldn't see. What did I do during that storm? I didn't go outside and be like, oh, everything's fine. No. I took care of myself. I closed the doors. I locked everything, made sure everything was safe. and my daughter was safe, my animals were safe, and I didn't care about, manifesting the life of my dreams in that moment. I was caring about taking care of me. Okay, like it hailed there, really? Just like in a plane, you put oxygen mask at yourself only then. Yes, exactly. Exactly. If you're in a plane, you have to take care of yourself, right? You can't, in the middle, if something's happening in a plane, you can't go and run to the front of the plane and start holding, I got this, forget it, go. And you start controlling. We can't control things that happen, but we can control how we respond. And how I respond, how I made healing no longer painful, I get excited. Now, I don't get excited when there's a storm because it's a little scary, right? Because I had a couple of storms happen recently in my life, and I was like, it was scary. It's super scary. And it was upsetting, and it was sad. And these storms came, but in the middle of the storm, I couldn't control how my stepdad was in the hospital. I have no control over his health. That's his life. I have no control over how my own dad talks to me. I have no control over how my aunt is feeling. I have no control over people. So I only have control of how I respond. So I did a lot of inner child healing. And this is something that I have I have meditations, by the way, of like visualizing yourself in the future. Because, inner child work, so the crisp visual symbolic after the dust settles. Yes, so it's just that you get, okay, I'll give you the crisp thing. I'll tell you guys what I'm switching subjects, but the crisp. So how I say, do you ever notice that some days you have no doubt about your future? You know that it's going to be okay. Some days you're like, I'm good. And you're like hyper and you're like, some days you're kind of like, you get moments of like, yeah, I'm good. And then other days are like, oh my God, I'm worried. What's going to happen? I don't know. All that. That's what I mean about when the dust settles, and some days it's very clear to see. And then that's when you start cleaning and you continue on your journey. Okay. So what was I going to say before that? Hold on. There's a lot of storms here. Yeah, there's always going to be storms. And by the way, do you know how it rains and there's storms randomly? That happens in our emotions. People think, this is the one thing that really bugs me, is people think that once they healed their emotions or their body, they will never get sick again. I had a friend that used to get mad at her. Every time she had a cold, she would get upset. I don't have a cold. And she would like deny it. And she's like, I'm going to manifest this cold away. I'm like, why? But I'm not going to be, why? Why are you getting upset at having a cold? It's part of the human experience, getting sick. Just like, don't get mad at yourself for being angry or sad. It's just it's like double negative. If you consider a cold, getting sick and everything negative, getting upset or what we resist persists. Everything you're resisting is going to keep coming. Just because I healed my body, for those who don't know, I said it on yesterday's live, I have managed to heal like chronic terminal illnesses, okay, in my body. I've managed to heal extreme pain in my body, but I'm still going to get sick. I'm still going to feel sicknesses. I'm not just consciousness. I'm not just spirit. I'm 3D. You guys are seeing me. I'm a 3-dimensional being on this earth. So I'm going to get sick again. Don't get mad at yourself if you get sick. That's why you think that healing pain is hard. Pain is healing. Hi, James. I just see you logged in. Cindy, I appreciate you. Yeah, we're human. And some people forget. Now, I have to tell you something. If you are someone who found spirituality, I want you to remember, and it's really good, when you've never really truly, or you were confused about your spirituality or whatever, and you dive deep into that spiritual world, you know what I'm talking about, right? C5 meditations and spirits and higher self, and like you're like bombarded and you're like super vibed and everything. Oh, happy belated birthday, James. So if ever you do, like you're feeling, wait, what was I saying? I just said happy birthday, James, and it threw me off. What the hell did I just say? I just got like a whole bunch of thoughts of, because it's a Leo season. And then I forgot. My daughter's a Leo and it's her birthday soon too. Oh, Victoria, I'm happy it helped. Yes, so what was I saying? Damn it. Do you anybody know what I was saying? Oh, spirituality. Thank you, Anastasia. Okay, so if you dive deep into the spiritual world, like huge, yes, like C5, all that stuff, what happens is, this happened to me, okay? I'm going to give you guys an example. So I was like a very spiritually connected child, very much. And then I lost my spirituality because my family that I was in, it wasn't really like, so I kind of, and I found that religion, believe it or not, even though religion's very spiritual, I think that religion almost suppressed my inner spirituality and my connection to whatever you want to call it, universe, source energy, God, like that. I kind of lost that connection because I was getting babysat by very, very spiritual, religious people. And I kind of lost my sense. And I became, I call it very 3D. 3D. What shoes can I get? What are the name brand shoes can I get? My conversations were very superficial. I was watching TV all the time with my family and the news, and I became extremely 3D. Even though I wanted to read like tarot cards. Now, it's funny because I was talking to my boyfriend's daughter, and she's like, crystals are really in right now. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, tarot cards and crystals, like it's super in. And I was like, oh, when I was 16, I was so into crystals, and my friends made so fun. They're like, oh, okay, Tanya, your little dreamland of crystals. And I was like, ah. So I became so 3D that I lost my spirituality. And then when I got older and I really got into it, I lost my 3D and I became only spiritual. And I have to tell you, if you are stuck in only being this spiritual being and you think that you can transcend your body, you're not going to live in a lot of happiness and inner peace. You won't find inner peace on this earth if you think that you can transcend the ego or transcend the body. We transcend when we're gone. That's how you transcend it. When you're no longer a meat flesh, that's when you transcend. But in this moment, you have to be your physical body, mind, emotion, you know, the 3D shit there has to be friends with your consciousness, the consciousness that is connected to everything, like every plant and source energy. And you know that what I'm talking about, that spiritual consciousness, you guys have to befriend each other. Meat flesh, I know. Because what happens is sometimes there's people that are only 3D and they don't think about their consciousness. You know, they're like, whatever, who cares? 3D, you know, what can I wear? What can I buy? What's money? And this, and it's only. And then some people are only consciousness where money doesn't matter. Money is just, no, it doesn't. And deep down they want money because that's the 3D, you know, they want money. They want exposure. They want the 3D. And I do want money, but that's because my 3D brain wants money and needs it to live a nicer life. So I am working to get financial, energetic money. Yes. But I also have these insane existential transcendental meditations that I'm sitting with myself, or sometimes not even meditation. Sometimes I walk outside and I cry of how the trees and everything, and it's a good cry, and it's just like this connection to that I know that everything is okay. Like friends can, it's a how, what do you mean, Randa? Wait, what to do when you enter a building and negativity crashes you? So you can't control other people, okay? So if you walk into a space, and a lot of you guys on my live know where, because I've talked about this a lot, but I haven't gone on live earlier in the day. So for those of you who haven't heard of this because I talk about this a lot. Yes, Victoria. Yeah. So imagine you walk into a room and there's a lot of negative people there. You can't control how people feel, how people are. You can only control yourself. So you can look and say, wow, there's so many negative people here. Or you can look at this finger and see all the negative people. Or you can look at the 3 fingers and saying, why do I recognize the negativity in them? What in me is negative? What in my subconscious? Now my conscious, your conscious mind is probably very positive. You had a good day. You woke up, you're good. And then you walk in, oh, hi. You walk in and you're feeling, people are so negative. So what's happening now is that your subconscious has negative in it. And that's why you're in the vibration of negative. And that's why you see it, is because something in you is feeling negative. So to not get sucked in, because the only way you get sucked in is because you also are feeling kind of negative. So the only way to get sucked in is to bring the negativity and say, okay, where are the other 3 fingers pointing at? I'm going to realize that there's something in me that's negative. That's why all I see is negative. And then give it strength. Give strength to your subconscious. Give love to your negative side. So start looking around and saying, these people are so mean, so negative. Look at yourself and go, what in me? What am I seeing in me? What is feeling negative today? Now, it doesn't mean you're negative all the time. It doesn't mean you walk around and you're negative. It's like in your subconscious. It could be like 2%. Just, it's floating around in your subconscious. Just bring it to the surface. Give it love. Watch how the people that are positive are going to be drawn to you. The people that are not toxic, not all that, are going to be drawn because you are going to strengthen your energy so much. You're giving love. Okay, love is light. You're giving love to your negative. You're giving light to your darkness. Okay, so just bring that light into yourself, and you own your self-projection. So you strengthen. I didn't see it. I just started to cry without reason. So there is a reason, Randa. There's a reason. So when you start to cry, there's something, and it's good. You cry. Go into the crying. Some people are like, no, I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. You know, when you do that, cry. And go, why am I crying? Go, why? Why? Ask yourself why. Why? You can say, why are other people negative? Or you can say, why do I recognize that other people are negative? And you go in. I have to tell you guys, when you start doing that, you are taking your energy of your body and you're strengthening the light in you. You're strengthening it because now you're befriending your darkness and your light. Both of them together, you're strengthening it. So you can't control other people's energy. You can control your own. So you can walk into a room and get drained by other people's energy, or you can walk into the room and people are, whoa. It's like your light hits them in the face and they're like, whoa, and you have to recognize what you see in others is a reflection of your subconscious. So everything that you see in others is always a reflection of your hidden. And remember, we only live in 10% conscious mind. 10%, less than 10% conscious. So 90% that you're walking around and you're feeling is all subconscious. What about getting self-conscious when in public? Oh, I get self-conscious too still. I do get self-conscious when I'm in public. I do. And I notice it. I still do. Sometimes I'm in public and I'm like, there's things, listen, I say this in every life. It is never about being perfect. It's about being aware. There's nobody perfect on earth right now. You can look at somebody, sometimes, I remember back in the day, I used to look at Sadhguru and I was like, oh my God, he radiates this loving energy and and he walks around and he's just that, and I was like, wow. And I was imagining him having perfect emotions. Care Bear hysteria. I was imagining having perfect emotions and he's never upset and I realized all he does is when he's upset, he's upset. When he's sad, he's sad. When he's happy, he's happy. When he's angry, I've seen Sadhguru angry. I've seen him triggered. I don't know if you guys know Sadhguru, but I've seen him triggered. Like some guy was triggering him, and you see him and you see him getting triggered. Everybody gets. You're human. You get triggered. That's all it is. You're human. As soon as we came on earth, we decided to have the duality experience. And you could have it, and you can make it hard by getting mad at yourself for being sad or doing all that stuff. Or you can say, all right, well, I'm human. But can I tell you, it is hard when you have people around you that shame you. So I want to acknowledge that. There are I have people in my family that I wish I could live free to be myself constantly all the time and say what I feel and this and that and blah blah blah, and I wish, and then some people don't like me. I rub people the wrong way, and then you're like, and you're like, and especially if I love those people and they're shaming me, I'm like, fuck. So all I can do, also at work, exactly, I feel all the feels, yes. So also at work, I was also, what I do is when there's other people at work or friends or this or that shame me, I think the reason why I was never valued, I was never loved and accepted for who I was, never in my life. And I've had this conversation with my family. I was the scapegoat of the family. Even with friends, I've had people really hate me for reasons I didn't know. People I don't even know. I walked into a gym, okay? It was like a fitness club. People were working out. I never spoke to this girl. And she was one of the biggest, important people in that fitness club. And she hated me. Thank you, Mary. And she hated me. And I never really talked to her. She didn't even know who I was. And I rubbed people. And I used to cry and be so sad about it. And I hated it. And I was like, why do I trigger people? What's wrong with me? Blah, blah. What's wrong with me? And I just realized that I cannot control how other people feel. But I think the reason why this happened to me in my life, that I was really, sometimes I'd be loved by people, sometimes I was really hated. And I think it's because I had to learn to do it by myself. I had to learn to validate myself, to love myself, accept myself, think that I'm worthy. I had to sit with myself, and I had to connect to something that is beyond me. I had to, as some people call it, find God, but find it in me, find the spirituality in me, find the connection, I had to do that. So I was given this life of, I had a very sick body. I was born into a body that was sick. Just like as soon as I was born, I had a blood disease. So it's like, I got a lot of darkness. I think it was to find the light, I guess you can call it, or actually not find the light, is to befriend the light in the darkness. I think that was it. And this is why I do my videos, is to share with you of how I did it, how to validate yourself, because there's going to be toxic parents, toxic friends. You're only a mirror to their own self. I know, I'm a reflector. We all are, though. We all are. We all are reflectors to other people. Thank you, Frida. All gurus have their egos get triggered. Everybody, exactly. Everybody. You are human on earth, and you are the same. We are all the same. And because I found out how to do it, because for years and years I was sick of holding on to this love that I wanted my parents to love me and value me and this and that. And I'm still on the journey with you guys. I'm not I've transcended my journey. No. I'm on the journey with you guys. I'm learning boundaries. But every time I learn something, I make a video about it. I was like, oh, I just recently learned that self-love and self-value are not the same. We carry victim energy. Allows people to attack us. I think, I don't know. I've known people that are not victim mentality and got attacked, physically even. So I think there's okay, I'll give you guys a really fucked up example. Really fucked up. I'm going to trigger people here. Okay, listen to this. Do you know how nobody knows about COVID? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. 0 people on earth understand it. It's like somebody's like, oh, you get sick, it goes in your lungs. No, you get dizzy. No, you lose your taste. No, you get diarrhea. No, you get vomiting. No, you get this. No. Oh, if you test before, it goes this. No, sometimes you have no more symptoms and then you test positive, but you didn't test positive when you have symptoms. And then sometimes you do the PCR. And nobody knows. And then some people are so sure. Like my boyfriend's like, oh yeah, this is how it is. And I was like, is it really though? Yeah. And then all of a sudden his mom got COVID. Didn't make any sense. Her symptoms made no sense. And then people were like, yeah, but then some people are like, no, it doesn't exist. Some people are like, yes, it does exist. And then some people are like, oh, it was by accident. Some people was created. Like, even the biggest scientists, nobody knows of the symptoms. It's so random. In my family, we all got COVID. Not one single person had the same symptoms. Like, everything is just, right? Okay. So, are you awake to what's really going on in this crazy world? Are you? Are you awake to yourself? That's a question. I'm asking you. Are you awake to yourself? Because you could be awake to what's going on in the world. And then some people have said, yeah, I'm awake to myself. I don't think you would have asked that question if you were awake to yourself. Because no matter what goes on in this crazy world, we live here for 80, maybe 100 years. And then the world continues. This is a temporary experience. And we can do our best to just do our best. And no matter what happens in the world. And some people get so upset of like, New World Order and they're going to control internet. And yeah. Oh yeah. But what happens if an accident and you're gone? All that stress about the government. All that worry about the government. I've had near-death experiences, and if I could take my years and days worrying about the government, about what they're doing, about the control, about my children, and what they're gonna, and the world, and I could take all that time and do that, and then in a blinking of an eye, I could be gone. And then what? And once I'm gone, then what? I took all that time, or I could think about it. I could be aware because I like conspiracies and I like that stuff. That's my thing. I love I love that stuff, but I don't let it scare me and get very angry about it. I don't do that. I don't. And I have friends that are like, what? I'm like, unless I go into politics and then go from the infiltration from the inside, that's not my life. That's not my journey. I'm not going into politics. That's not my journey to infiltrate my way inside. Or I could be on a screen and getting very angry at the government and the world and be like, fuck that, you guys are trying to control it. Or I could go outside. I could look at the birds. I could sit and be self-aware to connect with what truly matters in this world. And I believe in energy, frequency, and vibration. And Nikola Tesla, if you want to know the secrets of the earth, think in terms of energy, frequency, vibration. If I vibrate fear and anger towards the government, it's exactly the same as fear towards this and that. It's no matter what, where's my energy, where's my intention? My intention is healing, is I did all that conspiracy stuff when I was younger. I did all that. And I still do it sometimes. I love it. I'm like, ooh, aliens, I get into it, but I don't get upset. And people are like, oh, you don't know. And trust me, I have family. I have a big family. I have 44 cousins. 44 cousins on one side, 2 on the other, 44 on one side. And I have a lot of those in those 44 that are really like, the government, do you know this? And you know what? And I'm like, oh my God, you're so angry. Is this how you live your life every day? No, the government. And I was like, that's a lot. That's a lot. What happens? I think it's because I almost died. I think that's why I don't feel that way. Because when I almost died, I was like, I could be gone in a second. I almost died a few times. I don't have much time. I don't know how much time. Now, I'm sorry to trigger people, but I may be gone tomorrow. I don't get upset about that. I may be gone tomorrow. I hope not, because I have some videos in my drafts. I don't feel like leaving tomorrow, But I may be gone. This is what's holding on to those videos in my draft. But I don't mean to trigger it. I'm sorry if I know some people take death it is a serious matter. It hurts people when other people pass. I would be traumatized. But if I'm gone tomorrow, I just spent years and years of getting angry at the government. Do you know what I mean? That's what I took my time to do. Or energy, frequency, vibration. I vibrate love. I don't raise my frequency. I know some people, like if you really knew about Nikola Tesla's work, it's not about raising your frequency too much to be positive all the time and raising your frequency. It's not about that. It's really love. It's the low frequency of the earth of 7.4 hertz is low frequency. There's high frequency. High frequency is connecting to your consciousness. Low frequency is connecting to the human being. And then love is right in the middle. Right in the middle. Love yourself high, love yourself low frequency. I love. My energy is love. Sometimes I judge. Sometimes I become aware. I self-project all the time. I'm like, ugh, what's going on? Oh, shit. Own my shit. Own my projections. I cry. I get angry. I get overwhelmed. I want to be loved by my father. I want him to talk to me with kind words. I wish I could change his actions. He shows narcissism. It sucks. I wish I can do it. I can't control the weather. Maybe I can, but I'm not there yet. So I'm just saying, how do we tune into love? It comes from ourselves. So you have to learn how to love the dark parts of yourself. And it's fucked up. Like, love the shit that people judged you for. You know, all the shit that people judged you for and told you that you were too loud, too quiet, too this. You have to learn to love those parts and find out why they're okay. And then you start valuing yourself. Go into the value. That's important. I have to tell you, I think I lacked a lot of value. That you're important here on earth. There's a reason why you're here. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean there's no reason. So, you know, yeah, you can get angry. Yes, you can get angry over the government, social injustice, corruption. You can. Yes, he wanted free electricity. So you can get angry, but in the end, this moment here on earth, what do you think will make more of a difference? Getting angry at the government and that they're trying to control everything and make one world government and literally try to infiltrate and change the physiology of our bodies and you know, whatever you want to believe, whatever you believe on any side that you want to believe. Do you want to get angry? Or if you're the opposite, if you're somebody that's really like, some people are very pro-government and they're like, listen to the government, and they're angry at people. How come people are so conspiracy? That's so stupid. And they're angry too. What you choose to feel. You choose where your energy goes and what you think about. So if you want to think about all the time the government or other people, you can. Or you can think about, how can I work with it? So that's my whole thing. If you guys see it on my website everywhere, TanyaBeautyCoach.com, by the way, is as within, so without. Because when I stopped judging myself and I started learning about self-love, self-acceptance, self-value, all that stuff, I'm not going to judge other people. You know, and then there's some people who want more power and some people want, it's always like, some people want to be more spiritual. Some people want to be more rich. Some people want to be more this. Some people, like, you know, some people want to be more, it's, you know what's funny, Lily? You just said what I was thinking. I was like, oh, it's exhausting. Even talking about it, I'm like, it's very draining. It gets very draining. Do you know what's not draining? Let's do it. Hold on. I'll show you what's not draining. I'm going to show you what I do every day. Every day. I'm going to show you, okay? I'm taking you guys with me. Let's go. Okay, this is what's not draining. Hold on a second. Go super close up. Okay. Hold on. There. I'll show you what's not draining. Ooh, the lighting is a little off here. It's okay. Oh, man. Do you know what's funny? I didn't do my live outside because they were cutting the grass there on this other, we have a neighbor there, and they're cutting this whole area down there. There's the neighbor there. Anyways, they're cutting that whole area, and it's a long story. We're having a big bridge being built. Long story. And that was like an hour ago. I've been on live for an hour and they're still doing it. But we'll use that, okay? Actually, this is good. We're gonna use that sound to get kind of triggered. So this is what I do. And there's a lot of noises happening now, okay? So this is what I do. Actually, I'm gonna take you guys with me. Let's go. I'm gonna take you guys with me. Okay, this is what I do. Road trip. That's who said that. Somebody said road trip. Okay. I'm gonna take you guys down. Every day I make sure. Now, if you're living in a city, it's a little bit harder. But here, where can I? All right, let's sit here. I'm gonna sit right here. Because here I have some flowers. So I do this. Oh, the flower just hugged me. So see these guys? Look, there's a bumblebee. This is exactly what I do. Look, guys. You see the bumblebee? Where is it? I don't know if I'm showing you guys properly. This is what I do. Every time you start thinking about the government, you start thinking about your mother or your father that mistreated you. Every time you're upset about some crazy shit that you can't control. Like you wish you could. You wish you could control how your parents talk to you, or how your partner talks to you, or how your kids are behaving, or how the government is not, all that stuff. I'm literally, now I'm not going to show you guys here, quick, fast my toes. I don't like to show my toes, but I have red nail polish, so it's okay. Put my feet on the ground. We just cut the grass yesterday. I put my feet on the ground. Even if it's like on concrete, even if it's in your house. Okay, and this is what I do. I make sure that I use my senses. So I'm feeling the grass on my toes. I'm using my eyes to look at these. And I kind of like, actually I'm going to show you guys even in detail. And there's a little bumblebee that's in that guy right here. And bumblebees, they don't sting because we have a lot of bumblebees here, which is very good. I think COVID brought them back. So I just start thinking about the bees. And then there's the sound of cars over there. I don't hear many birds today. Usually there's a lot of birds. There's construction, I hear that. I just go into my senses. And that's how you love yourself. That's how you love yourself. Because I'm taking the time right now for me. I'm not thinking about yesterday. I'm not thinking about what happened, the drama that happened yesterday, or the crazy shit that may happen in the future of the whole world may be corrupt and we might be like freaking stuck on a metaverse of this. And I'm not doing that right now because that's not real now. Right now, what's real is that cute little bee. Oh, here, I'll show you guys. This cute little bumblebee over there that keeps getting the flowers. Do you guys see him? Here. Where is he? There he is. You guys saw him? And there's a whole bunch. Look, there's more. This is all it is. Totally present. Yeah, and if you can make a difference, listen, if you can make a difference, then make a difference. If you can make a difference in the world. My daughter wants to go and become a doctor, and she wants to go into pharmaceuticals. I was like, how did I raise you? What do you mean you want to go into pharmaceuticals? And she's like, because I want to make a difference from the inside. I'm going to go into pharmaceuticals and get like the natural. I want to go and see, because she's like, and pharmaceuticals do save people. Okay? They do. And I know some people are like, oh, big pharma is fucked up, da da da. Yeah. But they also did save people, because people used to die. They're like, oh, we should live like, 50 to 100 years ago, all we did was plant medicine. We also, 100 years ago, died when we were 40. People didn't live past 40 years old. Oh, there's a little ant on my foot. People didn't live past 40, 50. That was like old. Also, in pharmaceuticals, there is plants. There is a basis of plants. My daughter's been studying it already. She's getting into it. So you can get mad at everything, or you can say internet is fucked up. It's so bad. It's pedophiles. Or internet is also, what are you focusing on? Internet also is connecting me to you guys all across the world. I can talk to you guys and we can share. Listen, I'm getting educated so much on cultures, on different, what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? On different subjects, on different, everything. Like I'm getting so much, I'm educated, I'm getting recipes, I'm getting everything online. So what are you putting your focus on? What are you doing? That's all it is. And there's bees all around. Now, use your senses. I'm going to show you guys something else I do. So I walk here. I make sure I walk on the grass. And while I walk on the grass, I feel the tickling of like my toes on the grass. And then I'm going to show you something else I do. You guys are going to see me eat. Here, I'll show you guys something here. So we have some, this one looks ready. Okay. And for people who ask me, some guy said, why are you vegetarian? Because plants are alive, right? I'm like, I can pick a plant. I just killed it. I can kill it. I'm not, but I can't kill an animal myself. I can't do that. That's why. Okay. So this. Oh, that one was good. You taste the crunch on my tongue using my senses, level 100. Hold on. That's what I do. So if you're asking how to start loving yourself, that's what you do. How to redirect back to the now, that's what you do. Use your senses. When you eat, you can eat like, it's okay. I do that too. Nice little, grab some French fries and you're like, popcorn, ice cream, whatever. I get it. But once in a while when you're stressed and people say ground yourself, but you know what you're doing? Isn't it funny that we say that we have to raise our frequency, but yet grounding yourself means lowering your frequency because you're connecting with the 7.4 hertz, which is a low vibration of the earth. And I'm eating. When you eat, your frequency, everything gets heavier. You feel heavier. When you put your feet on the ground, when you use your senses and you touch, you're reconnecting with the human side. But isn't it weird that in order to connect with your consciousness and your spirit, you need to reconnect with your human side? Do you know what I mean? Isn't it? Yes, the magnet energy of the earth, exactly. I like that you walked around and acted out an example of tapping into mindfulness and senses. So, Star, I do this every day. Every day. Yesterday, I had so many clients. I had a full day of clients. I had to, by the way, I have an app. For those of you, I said it on my live yesterday. I have an app. And if you want, I have, on the app, I have daily affirmations. Those are things that help me a lot. I have meditations. You can shop for crystals in August. I have, what else do I have? Free Gaia videos. There's yoga that you can do, yoga on the go and stuff like that. Any Gaia video, I'm a Gaia ambassador. So you can, thanks user 54. So you can get, I got a whole bunch of free stuff on my app. My app is on tanyabeautycoach.com. You can find my app. And I was working on that yesterday. So I was on the screen and I was kind of getting a headache because I was like with the clients and it was great. I had a great day of clients, great day of all that stuff. It was fun. But I noticed myself starting to get a headache and I was like, ah. And then I'm like, I tried to meditate, but I couldn't because it was too much pain. So I came outside in between the clients every time. I came outside here and I look and sometimes I'm like, because there's a little spider that that's like falls on me and I'm like, ah. So it's like, but it's funny because when a spider falls on me and I'm like, oh my God, ah, because I don't mind spiders, but I don't want them on me. They're a little like, so just stuff like that. Why is it? Oh, but before I answer your question, I'm just going to say what I was saying. Yeah. Being scared of a spider off, I'm still living in the moment. I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I'm not thinking about anything. Why is it that people feel our energy and we take them and we make them feel better when we don't feel our energy? What do you mean? Wait, why is it that people feel our energy and we make them feel better when we don't feel our energy? Okay, I see what you're saying. I think I understand what you're saying. If you are, we always radiate energy. Everything has energy. Everything, obviously, scientifically, everything has an energy, has a frequency, a vibrational frequency. So vibration is like, right? Vibration is something that's vibrating. The frequency is the rate that it goes. So constant, everything has vibration, everything has frequency, everything on earth. So even if we don't realize that we're vibrating at a specific frequency or anything, then I try to take as many questions as I can. So it's important. I think it's a good question. We're constantly vibrating, constantly. But if you're disconnected with your own vibration and you don't realize it, that's what I just did, is something that you can try doing. And you'll notice that the frequency of love is something that you can emit for everyone. I love when the birds come out. The sun comes out and the birds come out. So, oh, I like that, Catherine. Look what Catherine, thank you, Uncontrol. I like what Catherine just said. Giving sometimes comes easier than receiving. Huge. Now, Catherine, do you know what I like about 2022? I'm going to go back inside. It's a little bit loud. Hold on. I'm like screaming here. Hold on. Okay. So do you know why what I like about 2022 is that giving, you know how you said giving is easier than receiving? That's because 2022, we are realizing boundaries. Nobody ever had boundaries. Nobody did. Think about your ancestors. There was a radio that they would sit by like this and play, like the radio would play. And they're just listening. And that's all they knew about the world. They weren't allowed to feel, women specifically, even men were not allowed to have boundaries when it came to other men. Otherwise you get beaten up, or nobody had boundaries. So what I realized is that nobody knew their value. A lot of people boundaries means that everybody matters. Everybody's feelings matter. Okay, every single human being's feelings matter. All of us. But some people think that their feelings matter more. Their money matters more. Their energy matters more. And some people think that they matter less. I used to be one of them just recently. Hold on, my dress is like stuck. Yeah, so I used to think that. So I realized that all of our feelings matter, not more, not less, but we decide. So if you're somebody that is really nice to other people and everything, and sometimes you're not so nice to yourself, and you kind of, I'm so stupid, but you'll never call other people stupid. You'll never say that to other people. You'll say it to yourself. That means you think that other people's energy and feelings and that matter more. What I used to think is that I had a salon, and I had what's it called? I was doing a whole bunch of stuff like Reiki, hairdressing, nails, all that stuff. And I charged very, very basic minimum prices. I always charged less than everyone. And I would pride myself that I wouldn't make people spend money. But I realized it's because I thought that their feelings of not paying a lot mattered more than my feelings of getting paid. Like, their feelings mattered more. So I always gave people deals with my energy, deals with everything, with money, like constantly. and everybody's feelings. Now, some people overcharge. Do you ever go somewhere and they're like, this is $1 million. They're like, I know my value. But what's happening is you think that your value is way beyond other people's means. And I know some people like this. They think they charge exorbitant amounts and people can't afford, and they're like, and like everybody is just like, it's because they think that their value is way more than other people. When in fact, everybody's feelings matter, money, energy. So if you don't know, yeah, could be 39. I finally learned to uphold my boundaries with my mother. It's difficult. Yes, it is difficult, but it is crucial. But that's what I like about 2022. We are all of us on the boundary train. All of us together on earth. We are all just now, and I think TikTok has a lot to do with it. Like, we're all setting boundaries that we're saying we matter. My feelings matter. And a lot of women, like I'm on women TikTok, that there's a lot of women are like, hey, my feelings matter. And what I like is there's a lot of men and other genders that are on TikTok that are saying, hey, women's feelings matter. Everybody's feelings matter. Every race matters. Every culture matters. Every gender matters. Like, everybody's starting to say, hey, I matter. I'm going to set some boundaries. And we're starting to see our value. And I think it's important that there's so much support out there. But by the way, we're the newborns of boundaries, okay? So you have to remember, don't be hard on yourself if you're not able to set boundaries with your family or with people. We're the newborn baby. No, we're not the newborns. I say we're the toddlers. We're the toddlers of boundaries. So I think my mom is a baby boomer. And I think the baby boomers kind of were like, burn, like, and right before they're like, burn the bras, blah, 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 blah. Like, they kind of like, my mom was in the era, the baby boomers, they started getting divorces. Like, you never heard about divorce. People just stayed together, married forever. Then they started getting divorced. And they're like, because they had boundaries, they're like, I can't do this anymore. So I think that they were like the newborns, like the boomers, and even like my dad and a little bit older, they were the newborn. They just, here's a boundary. It got backlash, but there was a boundary. I think we're like the toddlers. So you know how a toddler is? And like, we fall on our head and we're like, ah! And then we get back up. We're just like, nah! We're like 2-year-olds of boundaries. So we're good. We're starting. There's not many books about boundaries, but we're kind of like we're learning. Like, we throw things all over. Like, you know what I mean? We're a little bit crazy on the boundaries. We don't know what matters, and we don't know our value yet. And we're all discovering, wait, my feelings matter? I don't know. No, I don't think they do. I don't think they matter. You matter more. No, you matter. No, like, we're just, did Teal get back to you? Oh, no, she didn't. Feelings can be deceived and manipulated. Exactly. That's why boundaries are very important. I agree. So, Uncontrol sent a mini speaker. That's cute. Thanks. So it's really tough. Don't be hard on yourself if you can't set boundaries. Okay? So if you're having a hard time, there's a great book. If for those of you want to write this down, the book is called Set Boundaries, Find Peace. I've read other boundary books and I haven't been crazy about them. They're okay, but they're like cut off, and this one is amazing. It's in my top 3 favorite books. And it's Set Boundaries, Find Peace on Amazon by Nedra Tawad. People can get angry at boundaries. Yes, they do. Exactly, Star. Good point. They get angry if they don't do it for themselves. Set Boundaries, Find Peace by Nedra. Thank you, Cece. So yeah, it's and speaking of boundaries, I'm actually gonna end the live today because what I'm doing now is I'm setting boundaries for my live to go specific times. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, so I'm gonna be I told my daughter I'm off today. I worked really, really hard yesterday, like crazy, and today I'm off. and we're kind of looking for apartments. We're looking for a space and stuff like that. So we're gonna get some ice cream, and we're gonna drive around. And thank you, Mary. So I'm trying to and we're just keeping an open mind and doing all that. And I hope that, you know what I'll do? I'll upload this live to YouTube. It was a very light, fun live. If anybody forgets, oh wait, what do I do when I love and this and that? I'll upload this live to YouTube. Sounds good. Thank you, Jess J. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Anastasia. Okay, I appreciate you guys. I love you. I'm going to be going live randomly this week more often on different times. So if you want to join the lives, just check out my stories. And I forgot to post. It's already 1 o'clock and I haven't posted yet. So I'm going to post. I'm going to post my thing. So if you guys can, support my life. I used to say that all the time to my boyfriend and my daughter. Every time I post a video, I go, support my life. Support my life. And he's like, your life? I'm like, yeah, it's my life. I'm talking about my videos. All right, have fun. Thank you. Have a great day, guys. Take care. Bye.